We're starting the day quietly with these brindled gnu, or wildebeest, and this is actually the best way to find predators, lions and leopards. Just stop and look at other stuff. Because as soon as you sit quietly, that's when you hear alarm calls, which I know we've spoken a lot about in the last week or two. You hear the vocalizations of the predators themselves. Alright, so the Piccadilly female has been found. A leopard we don't often see on our side. We're just waiting for her to pop out on the road. So that was her unsuccessfully going for a francolin, the type of bird. Leopards are tremendously resourceful when it comes to obtaining food. They've been recorded eating over 90 different prey species. I imagine the number is actually higher than that. That's just what they've been recorded as taking. I mean, I've seen a male leopard take a buffalo calf. I've seen a young female eat a button quail, which is a bird about that big. A female like this who's raising cubs at the moment, she's got to be even more adaptable because her energy demands on her body are particularly high. A lot of her energy at the moment is going towards producing milk for those cubs. And then as soon as they're weaned and are onto meat, they can't provide food for themselves, so she'll be needing to hunt more, and kills that would have lasted her a couple of days will last shorter and shorter periods as the cubs' appetites grow and grow as they get bigger and bigger. So she was walking this way. Our hope is that she comes to these rocks, climbs up on them, walks across. Absolutely amazing scene. Our hopes aren't high. Okay, we've heard her calling. I think she's come out of the river. So we're just going back along. Oh yeah, here she is, here she is. Yeah, that was a frantic couple of minutes of position, reposition, guess where she's going, try to get some footage of her on the rocks. Eesh, I think might have got a couple of shots, but for the most part she'd be going one way, change her mind, go back, and we'd have to rush down there to try to get ahead of her, and half the time you end up missing the good shots because she goes a different direction. So we've come ahead of her now into the river. Just behind me is a nice collection of boulders which would serve as a perfect den site, and no one actually knows where she's keeping her cubs. Personally, I doubt that this is it. She's still hopefully coming this way. She might have turned. If she walks right past, this isn't the den. If she does come here and starts chuffing, giving a soft little contact call to call the cubs out, then jackpot. But this is right on the fringe of her territory. I don't think this is the den, but we don't know if she's actually got here. She might have walked past on the other side. It's very hard to see in these reed beds. Okay, so we haven't seen her again. This is the sand river behind me. You can see how dense the reed thickets are, and following a leopard in here is well nigh impossible. So like we said, we don't think this is the den. These rocks just over this side would be an amazing spot, but no further sign of her, so I think she's probably just hopped over the river. I say that, it sounds like an impressive feat, but the channel's split up and there's some narrow little streams she can leap over just going from rock to rock. So we'll go look for something else. It looks like just behind me is a spot where the lines have cut off the road. Obviously it's fairly easy to trail when they're walking on one of the dirt tracks. You can see tracks fairly quickly or fairly easily in the sand. But generally what you can see is a line where the grass has been pushed over, where the pride has walked. And if it is the Ntsevu Pride, which it looks like, they're a big pride. So plenty of lines pushing over the grass. So now that we're getting fairly close, everyone's sticking together as much as possible. We don't want to surprise the lions in the bush. And the whole idea is to find them and then back off without them knowing that we're here. There was fresh dung of a buffalo just back there. It's always possible that that's what these lions are after.
Tracks there.
Track of this bull buffalo running. The lions almost certainly chased him. Whether they caught him or not is a different story. But being a big pride, and they need a lot of food. Obviously an old buffalo bull, although it's quite a tough thing to take on,
Oh my shit!
it would feed the pride for a day or two. So
with one of them cooking from them. And one of the lion probably jump on the buffalo's back while it's still running this way.
that was a spot where the lions actually caught the buffalo. Not that they brought him down necessarily, but they got hold of him because his tracks are deep in the ground. The lion tracks are right there. And what lions will do is try and anchor a buffalo from behind. They'll try and weigh him down while maybe one of them will go for the throat or clamp his jaws over the mouth for the kind of killing stroke, so to speak. So you can only imagine the scene here. I mean, buffalo bellowing, smashing through these bushes, and we don't know if he got away or not. Well, so it looks like the lions have missed the buffalo. We're back on the road now, and there's a spot here just where the guys are standing, where the lions have regrouped. So after the mist, they would come together, a lot of head nuzzling, and now they've headed off into the bush once more. And the fact that it's now full daytime, chances are these lions wouldn't have gone too far and would look for a place to lie up for the day. Possibly near water. There are a couple of water holes in this direction. Okay, this is the most exciting part. I've heard the lions growling up ahead. You see the guys have all moved into single file now because we're pretty sure we know where they are. It sounds like they're on a kill. I heard a deep growling again. Okay, we've seen them and they've seen us. Great work by the guys. Lions are on a kill, but obviously we can't get too close on foot. They saw us, they feel a bit threatened, they moved off. But you can see they wanted to obviously go back and carry on feeding. So we've now moved back to give them some space. We're going to get the vehicles. Right, now as luck would have it, in the 15 minutes it took to go and get the vehicles, these lions have moved off. So now we've got to find them again. Finally found them again. They'd obviously just finished the kill, which we didn't actually find. We went in there to look and couldn't see what they'd been eating. We'll go have another look now on the way home. But it looks like they are fairly well fed and fairly sleepy. I imagine this is going to be where they'll spend the day. Well, it's a lovely grey morning. I say lovely in grey because we got 35 mils of rain last night, which is a lovely welcome boost so late in the season. So this is really advantageous to us from not only an ecological benefit, all the good it does for the plant life and in turn the herbivores that feed on the plants, but what it'll do is it'll get a lot of the territorial animals patrolling. The scent that lions, that leopards, that rhinos leave to mark their territory gets washed off in the rain. So those holding territory feel like they need to patrol again, re-establish those territorial boundaries. So often after the rain you get a lot of territorial movement. It's dependent on whether they're sitting on kills or not. A lot of them take advantage of the very good hunting conditions in the darkness and the rain and the storms. So stormy conditions like we had last night are very good for hunting, as evidenced by pride of lions that have just been found in a wildebeest kill over here. It looks like the Styx Pride. We don't know them very well, we don't often see them around here. They look a bit nervous. There are only 4 of them here, and I think last time they were around there were 6 of them in total. But we have just heard another lion calling back that way. These lions didn't seem too concerned when that roaring started, which means they probably recognize whoever's calling. Tracks of the lioness leading away behind me. There are 4 lions at the kill, 2 are missing. Tracks of 1 heading this way directly towards where we've been hearing the lion calling from. So most likely this is a lioness coming to call the missing member of the pride. The lions are looking a little bit skittish, not too sure why. Quite possibly they've been chased by other lions. And the fact that they're separated, like there's 4 on the kill back there, this one seems like she's come to look for the missing member of the pride. Lions, if they've had call it a traumatic interaction with other lions, A, that's a good reason for them to get separated. They will just scatter, run away, and they have to regroup. And B, it puts them on edge, which is why when we arrived, she lay flat in the grass. It's a kind of natural defensive posture. It makes her a little bit harder to see, and it puts her in a perfect position to charge if she needs to. I think it's a younger lion that's missing. Younger lions are fairly loath to call themselves. It brings a lot of unwanted attention because if a rival pride hears them calling. If they're a young lion, they can't defend themselves. So what will often happen in a situation like this, while this lioness is calling, if there is a youngster that's missing, it'll slowly be making its way towards the calling. So it's not like she's expecting an answer all the time. It's almost like she's emitting a beacon saying, here I am, come, and then after whoever knows how long, hopefully the missing lion will make its way back, and then once it's closer, would realize it's close, then it starts giving a little contact call. She'll hear that, ears perk up, and they go and have a little reunion, and then hopefully they'll make their way back to the pride. But hopefully by tonight, or if not, then tomorrow, they'll have all reunited. So we'll come and check up on the situation a bit later. Not much has changed. There's still 4 lions on the kill, which is behind this fallen tree here. The single lioness that was calling this morning, still off in the distance. The missing lion hasn't got yet. So, as is so often the case in the bush, we have to leave the story unresolved for now. 4 lions are still on the kill. The 5th one, the lioness from this morning, she's still lying on a different termite mound about 500 meters, a little bit closer to the pride now. Still vocalizing for what we can only assume is that missing lion. And the hope is that it rejoins them tonight. So we'll come and have a look in the morning and see what the update is. If it's a happy ending, which is always only a very temporary state of affairs in the bush, then we'll find 6 well-fed lions altogether. Otherwise, the saga continues, and we'll see if the missing 6th member joins in the next day or two. We're back with the Styx Pride this morning. They're lying in the road just over there. Only 5 of them. So, the one that was missing yesterday hasn't rejoined during the night. For whatever reason, assuming it's still alive. You know what we've learnt in the bush is that it's generally too soon to panic. Unless you've seen an incident actually happen, animals can go missing for days. We had a lion cub once that was separated from its pride for 12 days. Hyenas came in and chased the lions off a zebra kill. And the little cub was essentially abandoned, although not deliberately. So you can never say things are over until they're over. Well, I say it's too soon to panic. What is panicking is the little squirrel up in the tree over there. He stuck his head out a couple of minutes ago. First thing he saw was a bachelor eagle perched right next to him and 5 lions at his doorstep, so he's had a bit of a rude awakening. These lions are very, very full for now. I don't think they're going to go too far for the morning. They've had a drink, they're happy. We'll go see what else there is out there. Come down into the southwestern grasslands this morning. Good place for elephant, it seems. There's a group of 3 bulls here. Excuse me. You'll usually find the bulls leave the herds when they're in their sort of early to mid-teens, and they sometimes form little bachelor groups, which is what we've got here. Usually there's an older bull who kind of takes the lead and decides where they're going to go, and the younger bulls are known as his askaris, which is soldier in Swahili. And the theory is they get wisdom from him, knowledge of where good feeding and water is to be had at different times of year. And they in turn, as he ages, they are kind of his eyes and ears, and as his senses fade. But they don't really have any natural enemies, so I've often pondered about the whole, them being eyes and ears, because what danger are they looking out for?
We found this big herd of buffalo. It's taken us quite some time. They moved from where they were last night. What's great about a big herd of buffalo like this is how much life is associated with the buffalo. Flying all around us right now, you might be able to hear loads of oxpeckers playing an important role in picking off ticks and other parasites. So they have specially adapted claws, 2 toes facing forwards and 2 toes facing backwards. They cling onto the side of the buffalo and they comb through the coat, looking for any little ticks or parasites that they can take off.
It's been a nice productive morning down in the southwest. Beautiful elephants. Ooh, what's that? There's a secretary bird. Hey, this is going to be cool. Hang on a second here. So it's a pair of secretary birds. Uncommon, beautiful big birds that specialize in hunting snakes. So secretary birds, tricky. Great morning in the southwest. Big herd of buffalo that I think Pete and James spent time with. But the great setup for later today is Kev, who was way out on the eastern side of Londolozi. He found the Ntsevu Pride that we haven't seen for a couple of days. So given that it's quite cloudy, makes for good hunting conditions at night because it's going to be very dark. I think tonight that's going to be our port of call.